And this is the ETBU Coaches Show. Mark T. Robinson here with head women's basketball coach Rusty Rainbolt. And Coach, you guys had your run in the ASC tournament this year. Obviously, not the ending, not the way that you particularly wanted it to, but nonetheless, you're still very proud of your team. And we were there to kind of follow you guys throughout the journey. So your own thoughts about the season, your perspective, what's something that you, looking at this team as a whole, what did you see?
Man, it was I hadn't really stopped to think about and reflect on the season because, one, it doesn't feel like it should be over. And two, as coaches, we're knee-deep in trying to wrap up recruiting in these last 2 weeks with state tournament games and JUCO regionals and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, it's just been like every other week in terms of we're not preparing for opponents, but all the coaches will be out gone recruiting and all that. So it's just go, go, go. But when you said that, I started kind of thinking about it. And I think the thing I would say about this year, just reflecting back, is this has been the most amazing group of kids I've ever got to be around in terms of coaching. And I think this year more than ever that our team honored the Lord with their hearts and their efforts and the way in which they conducted themselves every single day in every way, off the court, behind the scenes, in the hotels, in the restaurants, in the classrooms. It's just there's so much more that goes into what we're trying to do here, as you know, than just the record. And 23-4 record is amazing. These girls, they were awesome most all of the year. We had 4 tough losses to 2 really good teams. But to look back at the year, I'm very thankful for the experience. You don't get to coach this type of group of girls very often or work with these type of coaches and staff this very often. It's just everybody was really, really special. And so I'm very thankful for that. Basketball-wise, I said it all year. I felt like we were a super, super talented team. It didn't have a bad person on the team, didn't have a bad heart on the team, had a bunch of coaches and girls that were constantly growing and evolving. And our prayer and our thought and our theme this year was that we wanted to be built on the rock of Christ and tested by the fire and allow his fire to burn up the stuff in us that wasn't honorable. And I think all of us went through a lot of that this year. I think there was a lot of burning and testing and purification that happened. So we're thankful for that too. That's not an easy process, but it was worth it. And I think we're still going through that. From a basketball standpoint, coach and player standpoint, for a team to go 23-4 and to not get a chance to play in the national tournament, that's hard to grasp. But that's part of it too, of just us honoring, the selection committee, honoring the people that make these decisions, honoring the Lord, honoring each other in a way that doesn't get bitter, isn't complaining. Is truly just about, Lord, it's in your hands and we trust you, and whatever is in front of us, we will accept it and be thankful for it. And doesn't mean we're going to be content with it. We're going to work hard and make sure next year we're not sitting in this position. But it's been a neat experience. The tournament was amazing, very well run by Mayor Baylor. It was a great atmosphere. We had our fans are the best. They traveled and they were awesome. Our band, just rock stars. I hope all of them see this and know that we are so thankful for the band and for our cheer squad and cheerleaders and pep squad and all those girls this year. Palm squad, they were awesome all year long. So much fun. But the tournament was an emotional roller coaster. We had the best week of practice and the best week of preparation that we've had as a team all year. And I said to our team all year, I don't care about the winning and losing as long as we are being our best. And it was not until the last week of the season that I thought our team finally performed their best, had everybody's focus and intensity and hearts in the same spot, 15 girls, 5 coaches. Felt like we had everybody locked in and on board with what had to happen. And so we had an amazing week of preparation, no distractions, no ups and downs, just laser focus. Went in there and competed on Thursday against Howard Payne, won a close game, which was awesome in the tournament, especially having 2 injuries, go down to 2 starters. Come back on Friday, play the really good Mayor Baylor team, led them the whole game, lost a close one right there at the end. But I, as bad as you hate to lose, I was completely okay with it because it was the best game we played all year, no doubt in my mind. And so I've said that, like, I don't care if we win or lose. I just want to play up to our potential. And in that game, we played up to our potential, and we got beat. So be it. That's just part of it. But I don't ever want to judge our team. I'd love for people not to judge us based on the scoreboard or that record. You know, look out there and say, are those girls giving what they've got? Are those coaches giving everything they've got in an honorable way? And, you know, I know last week we did that. And so I can be content with that and pleased with that as a coach. Hope the Lord is pleased with that. But, man, it's sad because I just love those girls and I love our coaches. And I told my wife after the game when we were getting off the bus at the hotel, it's like the hardest thing about this is it'll never be the same. You know, you for sure have 3 seniors that won't ever get back in that bus, won't ever come back on that court, won't ever put that jersey on. And so we have a family of 5 coaches, 15 players, you know, athletic trainers, you guys. I mean, it's all a big family. And when people leave, it's never the same because everybody brings such a special dimension to the team. And that's the thing that's the hardest for me. It's just I love Sid and Aaron and Val. I'm not holding out hope that April and Amanda are coming back. They both are juniors that can graduate early, but I'm going to handcuff them and not let them leave. But, you know, even if we lose just those 3, it still won't be the same. So you wish the ride could keep going, but God has a plan. We're thankful, and we'll continue to try to honor him in everything we do moving forward.
And one of the things that you said was that even though you ended up coming up short against UMHB, it was the best game that your team has played. And it was very interesting because I was talking to one of your athletes after the game, and she was saying the same thing, that you felt like this was the time of the year where you guys really felt like you were playing your best basketball. So as a coach, you know, how do you kind of you know, comprehend that, just the fact that at that time of the year, you know, you're playing your best basketball, just to have it, you know, in sooner than expected, as you were saying?
Well, it's hard. People would be like, well, okay, if you played your best and you lost, how can you be okay with that? Because that means you're not good enough. The reality is we never, after the first 6 games of the year, we never got to put our best group of girls on the court at the same time, all healthy. We were injury plagued all year long. Yes. You know, Kim missed like half of the season with a sickness and illness, and that affected our team. And then, you know, Kayla comes back after Christmas and has a shoulder injury, and she was the best three-point shooter in the league, and that affected our team. And then, you know, we had multiple injuries all throughout the year that never allowed us to just put our best team out there like everybody else did. And everybody will say, well, everybody has injuries. Mary Hardin-Baylor's top 8 players played all year long. They never missed a game. And so they're a super talented team. When we had our best players out there, we're super talented. And I'd have loved to have seen that matchup with our best versus their best. But in the semifinal game, we had Valerie Matlock go down with an ACL. Senior, you know, tears an ACL in the last game. Starting 2-guard all year, one of the best, if not the best defender in the league. So you take her out of the equation for Friday. And Kim Childress went down in the Thursday game with an ankle as well. She played Friday, but she wasn't healthy. You know, and then Amanda Wilson had a shoulder issue all year long. And so it's just one of those things where we were playing banged up and putting different people in there. And so that's what I say. Like, I think we got everything out of what we had. We were playing a lot of youth and inexperience at the end of the year, and a lot of girls that were injured. And so I can live with that. You know, our freshmen were absolutely amazing. They're freshmen. They don't know what they don't know, and they're just trying to keep their head above water. But, man, did they do their job very, very well. All 4 of them were just wonderful pieces and additions to this team and will be the foundation moving forward. But, yeah, I'm just proud of our kids because they competed so hard, and they believed in the moment. It was the biggest, with everything that it hit adversity-wise, injuries and the road to, you know, we had the hardest trip to the finals of anybody. They all still fully believed and were locked in, and you could see that after the game, just how their hearts were so broken, but yet still so connected. And how they were pouring out the love and affirmations and appreciation for each other. And so, yeah, you know, like I said, it's the winning and losing. It's part of it, and it can bring emotions. But the bigger picture is these girls love each other, and they truly care about the welfare of their teammates and their coaches and everybody around. And so it's just fun to be around.
Absolutely, Coach. And just looking back on the season for you, I know there's a lot that goes into it. There are a lot of little things that happen that kind of make the season what it is. So for you, was there a moment in the season that kind of really stood out to you that you kind of think back on? Oftentimes, what was that one specific moment for you, or group of moments, if there was any for the season for you?
A lot of people may think this is cheesy and just like boasting, I guess, is probably the best way. But the truth is, this season, if I look back, I can't think of a basketball play. I can't think of a game that's the highlight of the season. Last year, absolutely, there were multiple games that were just like, wow, the game was the highlight of the season. For me, it wasn't that this year. For me, the things is, if I just think back to the season that step out and jump out to me, where the times behind the scenes that nobody will ever know, where we had people compliment our girls for seeing them be servant leaders, for doing things that's different, having a hotel manager come up and talk about our girls in a very affirming way, having an athletic director from a rival school call to say, man, I saw your kids after the game clean up the bleachers in the whole facility, and what a great witness and testimony it was to our community to see what Christ's leadership looks like served out through your kids. To have table crews talk about things that our players did, to just say thank you. Just stuff like that, honestly, is what I take away from this season, and just know that there is a way to be a coach and be a player, be an athletic team, and do it in the kingdom, and not just doing it of the world for the sake of winning. And so, that's what I remember. If you ask me in 10 years about this team, it'll be about the people. It'll be about the girls and the love that they had, and it won't be about a win of a game. Last year was highlighted by victories in terms of wins because of the way in which the team performed as players. This year, these young ladies conducted themselves as, young women of the kingdom that was truly focused on that. So I say all that. It's the best record I've ever got to coach in a season. 23-4 is the best coaching season I've ever been a part of, but it's kind of weird to think about that. There's nothing that highlights for me in terms of basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, I think also it's those moments that really kind of stand out to me as well. Just the little things behind the scenes that people don't get to see. And as I was putting together the video for you guys after the ASC tournament, the very last scene, so to speak, that I kind of added was your girls were in a huddle and they were chanting, "We got your back." And for me, that really hit me because it kind of brought me back to the journey this year and the journey last year for you guys, and just everything that you guys went through kind of all came together for me, and it was kind of the essence of what the team is about.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody having each other's backs, and in spite of the injuries and the many different things that happened. So for you, Coach, what is the one thing or the one phrase or anything that you would use to describe this year's team?
It would definitely be, just a thought would be the testing by the fire. Something that back in May and June, as I was praying into this year, last year putting in prayer for this year's team, and the Lord just laid it on my heart that it is so important that this year's team, the concept is that everything we do to be built on the rock of Christ, and create this stability and security that when the wind and the waves come, your team and you and your leadership can stand firm. And then the tested by the fire part is eliminating everything around that does not allow you to stand firm on Christ. If we would have won a championship this year, who knows where our hearts would have been. If we would have went 14-11, who knows where our hearts would have, but we didn't. We went 23-4, lost in the second round of the tournament, and now we're on to the next season. And so, I know all of it played into a part, and God's plan is good enough for me. But if I think about just that, it just is going to come down to this year. I think the Lord burned up a lot of stuff inside of a lot of us that we needed to get rid of. And so we're thankful for that. When we went to Jamaica for our mission trip, our tour guide, Miss Judy, who's an amazing lady, after we had our very first team talk that day, and she heard what our theme for the year was, she said, it's pretty bold, Coach, to start asking the Lord to burn stuff up in you, because it gets very, very uncomfortable, and he starts with the head leader first. And that's exactly what he did. I could tell he started with me first, and it's all year long, and he did it with every one of our players. But I look at our team back in August, individually as people and collectively, and I look at our team now individually and collectively, and I think every single person, to a woman and a man, are better people today, right now, because of what God has done inside of us to eliminate things in our life that were not righteous and honorable. And so it's tough,
Yes.
But we have to have humility as the body of Christ. People can't see a humble person, then they can't see Jesus. We have to have perseverance as the body of Christ. If people don't see, people persevering through the hard times, we just lay down and quit, or we gripe about everything, then they don't see Christ. And ultimately, our goal is to show people Jesus, And so I'll be the first to tell you, I haven't done that perfectly every step of the way, and the Lord's continuing to deal with me. And our team hasn't done it perfectly every step of the way, but we will never be perfect. What we want to be is more surrendered every day to be more transformed in his image, and that's the essence of the walk, the journey with Christ, is not to be perfect, but to continue to be sanctified and moving in that direction every day to be more like him. So that's what I think of this year, is just how he burns so much up. And people are going to think, you're a basketball coach, and I've had that told to me so many times. You're a basketball coach, and it's a basketball team. Faith and your religion doesn't belong in that. That has nothing to do with it. Well, it ain't a religion for us, it's a relationship. And it is truly what this team is built on and what it's about. And so it has every bit of right and part and foundation in this team and in this university. And for that, we're thankful.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, it's been great having you on. And now that the season is practically over for you guys, we can get back to more important matters.
Here we go.
Of a challenge.
Here we go.
3-man role between my colleagues and yours. When are we gonna put this on?
Hey, your guys aren't even here. Kenny's didn't even show up today because I think he knew the challenge. Kenny, I'm coming for you, brother. Where are you at? You better show back up. No, it's hey. Absolutely. When we get back from recruiting and you guys spend a little time working on your game, we'll maybe we have to turn this into a fundraiser and get everybody out.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Well, it was great once again. Always great talking to you, Coach. And you can stay up to date with all things ETBU sports related at goetbutigers.com, or follow us on social media at goetbutigers. Mark T. Robinson and women's basketball coach Rusty Rainbolt. We will see you guys again next time. Thank you for supporting ETBU Athletics.